Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Film Odyssey podcast, where me and my brother trek through cinema on a quest to find the best film ever made. And this season, we talk about the AFI Top 100 Films of All Time. And today, we talk about The Apartment. So, Randy...
It was alright.
Really?
It was alright. It was whatever. I don't know. I feel like I've seen the same song and dance a million times. It's whatever to me. I didn't like it in other movies. I don't like it in this movie.
I fucking love this movie. Granted, I'm an easy mark for, like, this brand of, like, quote-unquote romantic comedy.
This movie was a comedy?
Oh, fuck you,
I thought it was
a
depressing drama.
Oh, fuck you, you laughed.
I giggled once or twice, but that does not make a movie a comedy.
I mean, I believe it is qualified as a, like, romantic comedy, but it's also a lot more in line with, like, a drama.
Yeah.
I mean, suicide is a topic in this movie. And adultery is all over this movie. I really enjoy it. Mostly it's probably because Billy Wilder is a really good screenwriter, and I think the script here is really good. Can you at least give me that? You like the dialogue? No?
I mean, the dialogue's fine and all, but, like, I don't like these kind of movies that are all about cheating on people all the time. I just sit here and watch and go, like, God, what an awful way to live. I hate what I'm looking at.
I don't know, is there anything about this movie that you did enjoy? Did you like Jack Lemmon's performance, Shirley MacLaine's performance?
I mean, sure, the acting was pretty decent and all. It's just like, I don't like the story. I don't like the characters themselves. Like, I think they're all awful people.
All of them?
Yes. I went into this movie thinking it was going to be like a nice little fun romantic comedy. It was none of these things.
Randy's like, this is just depression for 2 hours.
Yes. To me, this movie was as deadly serious as, like, 12 Angry Men.
I don't even know anymore, Randy.
I just had not a fun time watching this movie.
I mean, that's basically what this whole recording is going to be. Because
yeah, that's what it's going to end up as.
Because I don't understand how there's nothing in here you found enjoyable.
Well, I thought some of the bits were funny. I thought, like, the flow of the movie was good. But it's just so cliche. It's so...
I mean, the movie was
bland.
The movie was made in 1960, so like the cliches spawned from this. I mean, you could argue that 90% of quote unquote romantic comedies steal from this movie.
Yeah, but the thing is though is that like it's so cliche now, but I feel like it's one of these things where after this movie came out, like everybody was like, oh yeah, of course, like this stuff, like how did we not see it before? It wasn't more like an epiphany to where it's like, oh my god, this is new, so revolutionary. It's like, oh, yeah, of course that would work. Duh, how did we not do that before?
I mean, when it did come out, like, it was the big critical, like, oh my god, how do we not see, like, this is how you make these kinds of movies. It was nominated for 10 fucking Oscars. It won, like, 5 of them. This was also one of those movies that also made a shit ton of money at the box office, the whole 9 yards. This was a huge success.
Yes.
Really?
I just don't like. I don't like the movies this movie spawned. I don't like this movie. Like, I don't like any of the characters. I don't like the story. I don't like the themes.
Really? You don't. I mean, yeah, Baxter
I'm
starts out as
opposed to them.
I understand. Baxter starts out as kind of a scumbag, but like by the end of the movie,
all the characters are scumbags.
Yes, but it's like the redeeming factors. He sees the error of his ways. He quits the job that he just.
Sees the errors of his ways 5 seconds before fucking credits roll. Like he sees the errors of his ways because we gotta have an happy ending. Deus Ex Machina that bitch up. Like
you don't think
wave the magic wand 5 seconds before credits roll, everything's happy at the end.
So
like,
you're telling
it's bullshit.
You don't think his turn is deserved?
I mean, kind of, but not really. Like it's way too late. Like
okay. Let's give everybody the rundown. I
sure,
guess.
Yeah, go for it.
So the movie is about C.C. Baxter. He's this insurance guy. He works at this giant firm in the heart of New York City.
Yes,
and he loans out his apartment to some of the higher-ups of his company, and they use it for, extramarital activities. And during the course of this, he sees an opportunity to leapfrog everybody else to become, this highfalutin executive at the company, and he falls in love with the elevator girl along the way. Come to find out, she's the one having the affair with a highfalutin executive. Comedy ensues. But that's basically the crux of the movie. It's him trying to come to terms with, what he's willing to give up for his, position in life. It's supposed to be like, I guess, a love conquers all kind of narrative. You know, we have Shirley MacLaine who's playing Mrs. Kublick, and she's the elevator girl, and is unlucky with men, as she states in the movie, and it gets kind of really serious near the middle when she gets basically blown off by Fred McMurray, who's playing Mr. Shieldrake, and it develops into this very, like, kind of hard drama, like, halfway through the movie, and it's like, yeah, it's a tonal shift, but I think it works. I really like the movie.
I like principled characters. There was none in this movie.
Not everyone is Ben-Hur or Masala.
Well,
Randy.
I'm just like, that's I like characters that, like, they have at least something they'll stand for. None of the characters in the movie will stand for fucking nothing. Nathan, not a single damn thing.
And that's the point of Baxter.
Like
he doesn't stand
Play-Doh.
That's the point of Baxter. He's this pushover, spineless guy, and he learns to grow a fucking spine.
5 seconds before credits roll.
At least he learns.
I guess.
He learned to be a mensch, as the doctor says, after he's done slapping Shirley MacLaine around.
Which, that was funny.
You laughed at that bit of physical comedy?
Yeah, that was pretty funny, because he was really fucking going in there with those.
He was like, you owe me money. Hacha! I mean, the supporting cast is good.
Yeah, they're good actors, yes.
Randy, it's just there's nothing about this you find enjoyable.
No.
I don't even...
I'm gonna rate this probably lower than fucking Swing Time and Bringing Up Baby.
I don't even, dude. Like, this is a really good Billy Wilder film. Alright? Like,
sure.
Really? He followed up Some Like It Hot with this movie.
I loved So Like It Hot. Or Some Like It Hot. I loved that movie. I hate this movie.
All right. This is... Look, I don't know where you want to go, I guess. Like...
Well, what do you so much enjoy about this movie? Like really try and sell it to me. Like...
Okay. Personally, I think Jack Lemmon he's just charming. I really like Jack Lemmon as an actor, and him in this movie, I think, is a great performance from him. Because, yeah, he's this spineless, kind of like, Play-Doh guy, like you said.
Yes.
He'll blow over anybody, and he gets good, schlubby comedy bits. He's the schmuck.
Yeah.
And as the movie progresses, and him kind of realizing that him being this schmuck and him evolving as a character, I think is earned. I think through the party scene, right? Where he's just this oblivious, stuck in his own world, and he starts to realize, that, Kublick is actually a person suffering outside of this world, and she's a person who is basically ruined because he exists, and I just really like Baxter as a character, and I think his arc as a character is really engaging.
I just think that, like, I can't relate to his character at all in any way. Like, he's just way too spineless for me. Like, he starts off too much like Play-Doh. Like, he's not even like old Play-Doh, or at least it's a little stiff, like...
And still has some structural integrity.
Like, he's less than... The man's soup.
I mean, look. Him...
And pretty watery soup at that.
I get it. But... I think he does have a deserved arc in the film. I think that's the thing. I like the writing about this. I really
too far
like
from one end to the other. Like, he goes from watery soup to like granite, and I can't see it. Like, I didn't see it throughout the movie. He went from watery soup to granite. Gives up this like super high paying, high executive job for nothing really, because he doesn't know that Fran's gonna come back to him.
Yeah, he gives it up because he realizes working under Shieldrake is just, like, no. He realizes having a spine means he can't work under somebody so terrible as Shieldrake. I also think Fred McMurray is a great fucking villain in this.
Because he's a good villain.
He's not, the scheming, plotting guy. He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
He's an incredibly realistic portrayal of an asshole.
Yeah. And
I think that's a great performance. Also, Shirley MacLaine as Kublick is so engaging to watch when she does her monologues. I think she's giving A+.
She's giving a good performance. The performances in this movie are good. I just don't like the movie. Like, I don't know how better to... Like, I just think I'm watching a character in which everybody in the movie is a slime ball.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't have near almost any redeeming qualities, any of them. Like, I'm watching the fucking pig fucking movie. Like why am I watching this?
This is not as bad as the pig fucking movie. Fuck you. Oh, okay. What about Billy Wilder's direction? The camera work in the film.
It's good.
Like, the reveal of Kubelik's affair with Shieldrake, where it's just the mirror.
It's good.
Like, at the Christmas party, I think those are really well done, well composed, perfectly directed sequences. No dialogue is pure visual storytelling.
Yeah. Those are good, yes.
But the characters, you just don't give a shit about.
I hate all of the characters. Like, I loathe them. Like I wish they didn't exist. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, like, how I feel about, like, it just comes down to, like, how I personally feel about these situations, you know? Like, I can't, like, I'm just, like, stuck. I can't get over these things where it's just, like, I cannot see, like, these things happening to real people and them reacting in this way. Like, I just don't believe it. I can't see it, you know? Like, it's just so unbelievable to me. And these aren't who's in Whoville. These are people in New York City.
Well,
like,
here's the thing. This is technically based on a true story.
Okay.
So, Billy Wilder, he wanted to make this, I think, in, like, the 1940s or 50s, right after World War II.
Sure.
But what happened was he couldn't get it made because of the censoring board, so he had to wait a long time. And it's half influenced by a British drama called Brief Encounters, and the other half is a real-life Hollywood scandal where I believe it was a manager walked in on his business partner having an affair with his wife, his actor wife, and shot him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this whole thing where they were basically stealing his apartment to have a fling, and the guy thought, oh, he's doing it with, like, some girl at the office, whatever, finds out it's his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing where this kind of has bearing in real life, even if it's an unrealistic portrayal.
But the thing is that's totally different than what happens in this movie. I would rather watch that movie.
You'd rather Baxter come in and just shoot McMurray?
That'd be fucking sick.
And he's like, that'd be gangster as fuck.
That'd be gangster as fuck. Like, I would much rather have watched that. I would much rather have gone back to the apartment and pulled the 45 he had in the drawer and fucking nailed the dude. Like, that'd be way better.
I'm legitimately just surprised that is nothing in this movie for it.
Well, here's, like, okay. I just don't like the characters. The dialogue's good. The acting is good. The acting is actually pretty good, actually. The scenery is good. The direction's good. Editing's great. Just fucking hate the story and characters.
This is the movie that lines up just perfectly for Rainey to hate it.
Well, yeah, because the rest of it's good, except for the characters in this. It's like fucking Titanic all over again. Except worse. Like, the characters are worse than in Titanic. The story is worse than in Titanic.
At least the characters in Titanic were ineffectual, whereas this, they actively piss you off.
Yeah, they actively piss me off.
I don't even know how to respond to this.
Do you want to, like, back and forth? Like,
I mean, a little bit, because, okay, we'll just start first and foremost. What is the one thing in this movie, like one character, scene, dialogue, whatever, that just pisses you right the fuck off?
When Baxter's in the apartment with Fran, right?
Yeah.
And he keeps trying to get Fran to talk to Shieldrake.
Yes.
Why? Why does he do that? I thought he liked Fran.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he, like, trying to connect them after she just almost killed herself over Shieldrake? Like, what is going through this man's mind? What is possessing this man to do such a terrible, awful thing? Is he trying to get Fran to commit suicide again?
No.
Because that is my first thought, is like, why would you... That's obviously such an awful idea.
My thinking is he's just pure and simply just naive. Like, he just is like, I don't know why you did this, but you seem to really like this guy. Maybe he can help. I'm going with the pure fact that he's just purely naive.
The man must have been born yesterday to be so naive, and I don't see him born the previous day in this movie.
Look, I just... Jesus Christ, Randy.
Like, sorry, but that's like...
That's your thought process?
It just is so mind-boggling. Like, why would you... That's such a universally awful thing to do. Like, why would anybody ever do anything even to be so much as like that. Like, it's just like I'm watching that scene. I'm having a fucking aneurysm, being like, that is so stupid. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in cinema. Like,
well, my thing with Baxter in that moment, because up to this point, Baxter's kind of been portrayed as either spineless or completely naive about what people are talking about. Like, it's almost like a thing where he's like a shelter lamb that just entered into New York.
It's like so, like, his character would have to be the character from, what is that movie where the guy lives in, like, a bomb shelter when the plane crashes?
Blast from the Past?
Blast from the Past. Like, his character would have to have that backstory for me to believe he's so naive in this moment. I get it, he's kind of like this, workaholic, kind of, like, weird, nerdy, like...
You would probably say he's on the spectrum now.
Like, yeah, like, his character's got fucking tisms, like... He looks up... Also, he's a creep. He's a total creep.
Yeah, he is kind of creepy.
He's a total creep. He looked up her, like, fucking insurance records or whatever, like...
Okay, now that part of the movie always rubs me the wrong way, because of not, like, Baxter's, like, he does that. It's how Shirley MacLaine's Fran responds to it, where she just kind of laughs it off. I was like, oh, that's so cute. I'm like, no, that's not cute. That's weird.
No, here's the thing, though, is I'm assuming that she's just trying to get out of the situation at that point. But then she doesn't, like, it's not serious to her, like, afterwards. Like, at first, I'm thinking, oh, she's just trying to laugh it off to, like, get away from this creepy guy, right? But then she acts when she's with Shieldrick, that she's actually gonna go to the 8:30 performance of the Music Man with him. And I'm like, what? No, like, you're supposed to get away from both of these men. Like, what are you doing? It's like watching a horror movie, right? And there's, like, the basement full of chainsaws and machetes, and you're like, oh, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go have some premarital sex downstairs. Like, no! What the fuck are you doing? Am I watching goddamn fucking Scary Movie 2? Like, this is bullshit. Like, what are you doing? It's like you're hitting all of the tropes where you're about to die in a horror movie. Like, what? Bitch, please.
I mean, she is hitting all the tropes of leading to a horrible relationship in a romantic comedy.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, these are the things, like, why I can't like the movie,
It's one of those things where it's like, there's just enough of these things that build up for you to just be like, fuck this movie.
I'm just like, none of these people would act anywhere close to this. Like, I like more realistic characters. I like fuck, magic ain't real. Like, I like that kind of shit, but it's just like, they just act so unrealistically, so very like
it's unrealistic in a non-fantastical way.
In a non-fantastical way, yes, exactly. Like they work at a fucking insurance company in New York. Like it doesn't get more like real world than that. Like there's no fucking Lion Witch and fucking wardrobe in this movie. Like.
I mean,
they don't ride out on a flying car halfway through the movie. Like it's this very grounded movie. It talks about suicide and all this different shit, and like, what? Do you kind of see where I'm coming from?
A little bit. Because here's my thing. Because look, it might be a thing where I give into the performances of the actors, and I'm like, I admire the performances they're giving of these horrible people.
Yes,
but I admire the performance, if not the characters. And I think the story, though, about scummy people is very well written and well performed. If it is about scummy characters, what have you, I enjoyed the performance, if not the content.
Okay.
Alright?
Sure.
But I do find that the content is still enjoyable enough for me to just, like, ride the ride. Alright? At no point in the movie, except for, like, yeah, when he starts quoting her, like, social to her, or like, hey, I know where you live, blah, 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 because, I'm one of those TISM guys, or whatever.
And this is 1960.
This is also 1960, and the dating game was way more based in stalking, But I can ride the ride of this movie. There's no point where I'm like, I want to check out. Okay? There's no point where I'm like, this is just too cringy, or this is too bad, I want to check out. I enjoy it. I think Jack Lemmon is really charming. I think he's given a great performance. Every time Shirley MacLaine starts talking or doing a monologue, it's great. I think Fred McMurray is the slimiest car salesman to have ever walked the earth. And I just love him trying to just
blow everything off.
And interacting with people. I think it's so just palatable, the slime. It's oozing from my fucking screen whenever he's there. And I just really dig that. And also, I think how Billy Wilder uses the camera, how things are composed, it's just a really well-made movie about horrible fucking people. And yeah, I get it. Not for fucking everybody.
Yeah, it's just like, sure, the movie's... it's the Titanic effect, where it's just like, I just can't understand where these characters are coming from.
You appreciate everything except what the movie's about.
Yes, I can't understand where any of these characters are coming from, like why they do the things that they do. I just don't get it. Like the things that they do are not natural enough for me to accept what they're doing as just what they're doing without some more backstory, without some more like explanation as to why are you doing the things that you're doing like this. Like there has to be a reason. Like did you have some kind of experience before? Like, were you dropped on your head? Do you actually have the tisms? Like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Like, they're not reasonable enough things to do without some kind of explanation. And I don't get an explanation because, it's whatever, it's just characters on a screen, haha, funnies.
Haha, funnies.
Yeah, like, it's a romantic comedy. There's nothing funny about this movie.
There's funny bits in this movie.
Okay, sure, yeah, there's funny bits. I'm exaggerating.
I like how Randy had to say that in, like, the most angry way. Yeah, it's fucking funny.
Yeah, there's funny bits. Fuck.
Okay. So, you don't like the characters, you don't like the plotting, whatever, I do. It's the dividing line.
Yes, okay.
Alright? But
so can we agree this movie's not for everybody?
We could agree this movie's not for everybody. Like, I'm be honest with you, it's a 1960s film that is used as a foundation for, like, a lot of romantic comedies. Yeah, if you don't like romantic comedies, you're probably not going to like this. And if you've seen a lot of romantic comedies, you'll probably find this very, like, cliche. But the biggest thing is if you do appreciate, like, solid filmmaking, you're going to like this movie. Because it is a solid film. It's solid writing, it's solid direction, it's solid performances. If you just like the filmmaking aspects of like cinema, you're gonna like this movie.
Well, I think
I'm
about to make some analogy. This movie is like it's like toxic waste. It's encased in a very solid product.
Yes.
It's encased in concrete. It's very solid. If you don't go poking into it too much.
You're a monster, Randy. This movie beat out Spartacus for Best Picture, Randy. You fuck yourself.
It shouldn't have. But the thing is, though, I liked the bad character. I liked the villains in Spartacus because they have motivation for why they are the way they are. Like, also, here's another thing. Like, I don't like in all of these movies because there's tons, and I mean fucking shitloads of these movies, that it's like, the man cheats on his wife, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, Shieldrake's because he's a serial fucking philanderer. He's just... And if you're saying why, I'm like, why do people cheat in real life? Because they're fucking assholes.
Here's the thing, though. I don't understand these things. I don't understand why people key their own cars.
Randy is like, I'm Irish Catholic. I marry like pigeons to the death. God damn it!
It's like there's not. I feel like they just kind of gloss over it. They're like, yeah, this is just like a thing that happens. I'm like, I would be much more interested in the movie if Shieldrake explained or had some kind of scene, some moment where it was like, why he does the things he does. This is the same fucking shit with fucking Billy Zane.
I mean,
where I'm like, why does he do the things he does? Like, sure, he's just like an asshole, right? But like, I need a little bit more than that. I need a little bit more than just like, yeah, I'm an asshole. Like, he's doing it because
he can. He's a person in a position of power that can have whatever he wants. He's one of the king of the world types. And he's like, I want girls because I can have them because it gives me another piece of power over my wife. But I don't fucking know.
But he doesn't, like, that's not portrayed. Like, it's not portrayed that he's specifically using that to, like, I mean, I guess, like, a little bit in the movie, but, like, it's still, like, I don't know. Like, It's
one of those things where Randy's like, I just want a Shieldrake monologue that helps articulate more of him as
I
a character.
want him to make his fucking villain speech. And I'm like, yes, of course. Now I can pour out my wine because the villain's kind of making a couple points, you know?
That's Randy's thinking. He's like, every time, Randy can denote all the movies he likes. If the villain has a speech in it, and by the end of it, Randy's like, motherfucker got a point. That's how you know Randy loves the movie.
I fucking love all of those movies. All of those, like, any movie that does that, I fucking love those movies. I heckin' love them. It's like even like I don't really like Marvel movies all that much, but like Thanos is a good villain. He's a fucking fantastic villain. I understand exactly why he wants to do what he wants to do, and I kind of agree with them. I don't agree with the way he's gonna do it, but I'm like, he's got a point. He's got a fucking point.
Randy is riding the giant purple cock of Thanos right now.
I'm just like, he's a good villain. Like most of the characters in the fucking Marvel movies aren't very good. But Thanos, he's a damn good villain.
I mean, yeah, I'll give you that Thanos is a good villain, alright? They built a whole, 3 phases to build up to fight the fucker,
yeah.
Alright? And in The Apartment, not a Marvel movie, alright? But I still think Fred MacMurray as just, the everyday, the common asshole. And he is just the worst human being alive. In this movie, that's the beauty of this movie. Billy Wilder took a character that you can see every fucking day. These people exist all over the world, and he's like, I'm gonna make somebody who is probably one of the most mundane people you can interact with the worst human being in cinema.
Yeah, cool.
Randy's like, yeah, that's fine. I still want a villain speech.
Well, it's just like...
If Florence Olivier played him and he was a Roman general, I'd be more engaged.
I would. I'm not gonna lie and say I wouldn't. I would. It's just I don't know, the acting's good, but I can't understand the motivations of the characters. I just can't get there, I'm just blocked.
On that human level, you're just I don't understand.
If I knew these people in real life, I would be like, bro, dude, you're retarded. What are you doing?
Just stop it, dude.
Yeah, just stop it. We need to have a talk. I need to sit you down and we need to talk about what you're doing with your life.
Be like, McMurray, you got a wife and 2 kids at home. You're doing great. Just stop it. Hey. Baxter, stop letting these fucking people in your office. It's not fucking worth it.
Or in your apartment.
In your apartment. And, Fran, just maybe just date just a swell guy or something. Just
back off from dating entirely for a little while,
Be happy with yourself.
Yeah, just...
Randy would be the marriage counselor. Randy would be the relationship counselor that would solve this movie in, a half hour.
Yes, let's remake this movie, except I'm fine. What was that movie where it's the guy was he was the person that would get everybody together or whatever. It was some fucking Adam Sandler comedy or something. Wait.
Are you talking about the Will Smith one, Hitch?
Will Smith, yeah, the Will Smith movie Hitch.
Will Smith and Adam Sandler, they just look so much alike.
No, but I thought Adam Sandler was in the movie, he helped make it or some shit.
No, Kevin James is in the movie.
Oh, okay.
He's the goofy guy that Will Smith helps, and stuff.
Sure, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I've never seen the movie.
Me neither. I've seen the trailer before.
But yeah, it's fucking give me 30 minutes and call me Hitch. I'll fucking fix this movie.
Look, I get you. All right. Again, film is crazy because they're not made for everybody.
Yes,
some people love movies, some people hate them, and they could be the same fucking movie. But what about this? Is there a scene in? I've given you, things I don't like, right? But is there a scene in here that you enjoyed? An isolated scene or an isolated element that you just enjoyed? About the characters, plot, whatever.
Well, I think, the scene I mentioned before, where it's, the one thing, I just couldn't understand. Why would you, try and have Fran call Shielddrake? That's stupid. Everything else that happens in those scenes where Baxter comes to the apartment, right, and Fran is there, everything else that happens in that whole sequence is great. I was good, it was character building. It's just
Randy's if you extracted that calling scene, this would be a really good building of a relationship sequence.
Yes, 110%. it's like, you know, Baxter's like climbing up the mountain to like get himself like a spine to like win over the girl, you know, and then like fucking Billy Wilder or whatever just chucking rocks at the motherfucker as he's climbing up and like, no, we need to save this for later. You can't grow a spine now, you got to do it later. We have to have it 5 seconds before the credits roll. You can't be doing that now. Please stop.
I mean, well, that's Baxter as a character. Baxter's the guy 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, look, is it just the thing you're feeling the hand of the director?
Yes, I remember, like, in that, like, moment, in that, like, I don't know if it's just, like, I've seen so many other movies where that, like, do that part so much better, where it's just, like, you know, like, hey, like, you know, we're gonna, like, Baxter's, like, helping, like, nurse Fran back to health, and they're supposed to, like, build a relationship through that, but they just kind of, like, it feels as if they're standing at opposite sides of the room being like, are you ready yet? Can you go home? Like, are you done being, like, all sick in my apartment? It's not like I like you or anything, but could you please get out?
And like, that's not like that at all.
But, like, there's no development, so it might as well be that. Like, they're hardly developing it. Like, it seems like that should be, like, the thing where they develop a whole bunch of, like, relationship together, and the movie should end, like, 15 minutes after this, you know?
And it's like, as soon as they start developing the apartment, the movie's over.
Well, it's just, like, that should be it. That should be, like, oh, you know, they've kind of realized they have a thing for each other, and then, like, you know, Fran shouldn't go back to Shielddrake after this. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's fucking bullshit. Like, whoever wrote that's a hack. Like, how does Fran go back to Shielddrake after this? Like, she kisses Baxter on the forehead, and then she's like, you know what, I'm gonna go below Shielddrake in his office. He's actually kind of a cool guy, you know. Actually, you know, all that whole stuff about the Shielddrake, like, no, like, he's a wonderful human being. I was this Baxter guy who nursed me back to health and took a pot shot from my brother-in-law. Fuck that guy. I fucking hate his guts, you know. I'm gonna go blow his boss. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? It's giving me fucking aneurysm. Like, what? You smoke rocks? Like,
dude, it is New York, man. I don't know.
Goddamn. Like, is this bitch, are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, God.
Like, I can't understand the motivation there. Like, what motivation was there on set, you know? Like, hey, like, I know, like, this Baxter guy is, like, really standing up for you, like, really doing all he can for you, got you a doctor in 20 seconds or less when you're about to die, talking you through all this, like, hard stuff you're going through in your life. Yo, could you just, like, blow him off, though? Just be like, yeah, you know, that was nice, kid, and all, but, you know, here's a dime for your troubles and goodbye. Like, what the fucking cock-ass motherfucking bullshit is that? Like, I can't express it enough. Like, I can't understand the motivations of characters in this movie when they make their decisions. Like, why does it take Fran so long to realize, like, this like, she kisses him on the forehead, like, it's this whole, like, symbolic thing where Fran is like, you know, you're a nice guy. Like, I watched that, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna, like, get together after this, and everything's gonna be, like, fine. She goes back to fucking Shielddrake. And also, Baxter, like, just lets it happen. Like, he grows a spine after that. Post that. When he thinks that they're, like, to get, like, what the fuck? I wish you could see me flailing around. I just can't understand.
Rainey's been rolling around on the ground for 20 minutes, just yelling at the gods. Oh, lordy. Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
But do you see where I'm coming from with that? Where it's like, why would either of those two characters do what they do in the next, like, following scenes? Like, were they like, yeah, you know, could you make the movie a little longer, Billy? Like, we really need a 2-hour one to keep the audiences in for, you know, you gotta hit our marks, you know, like.
Look.
90 minutes? Only 90 minutes? Can't you make it 2 hours, Billy? He's like, all right, we'll push the credits roll until for another 30 minutes. It's fine.
I think that does the movie have like 15 minutes it doesn't need? Yeah, probably. Probably has, like, near the end there. Yeah. I'm personally of the opinion that, like, after Nurse back to health and he takes the shot by the taxi driver, it should be a thing, you know, Shielddrake finds out he's, you know, oh, I got, you know, blah, 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 he's gonna try and take Fran out. And when they're leaving the building that last time, it should be a thing where, you know, he talks to Fran, and Fran's like, oh, what? Oh, no, he's gonna meet me at the tiki bar. Hey, do you want to go see a musical? And they just leave. Like, she decides to blow him off.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a much more happier ending, right? if Baxter's, decides to, like, quit or whatever in that scene.
It's just like, Fran and Baxter, like, meet in the lobby, and, like, Shielddrake is like, what? No, you two can't get together. And they're like, shove it up your ass. And he's like, they're fired, and you can take this. And then they yell back, you can take this job up your ass, or some shit like that, Like, they both grow spines and, like stand up to him at the same time together, Like, that.
That is the thing, because the point that I will say the movie has two issues with the ending that I do take note with, is that Shielddrake, he doesn't get, like, a good, like, fuck you comeuppance. Yeah, his wife leaves him.
But
he loses Fran, really but he doesn't really care.
He doesn't even fucking care.
It would be better if, if Baxter was like, you know what, you can take this job and shove it to your ass, and maybe Shielddrake tries to, like, manhandle him, like, you can't tell me that, and Baxter, like, punches him in the mouth and leaves. That, sure, because I like seeing villains getting punched in the mouth. That'd be sweet. And then if, on his way out, he sees Fran's already given her 2 weeks because she's like, I can't work with, an asshole like that, and they walk out, that'd be nice. Or if the two just kissed at the end. Because the whole, like, gin rummy thing, I'm like, yeah, it's nice, it's cutesy, but it's like, no, like, fucking, can we get, like, they kiss at the end, it's a happy ending. I don't care
about the kiss at the end happy ending bullshit.
I care about it, because, I'm a sap, but whatever. But, like, yeah, I don't think Shielddrake does get a full comeuppance, and I think that, yeah, the ending between Fran and Baxter is a little hollow. But I still think the majority of the movie is still really, really good. But what?
You can't say the writing's all that great.
Look. I'll tell you this.
Can you take that back?
You took me making this movie like, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 movie to like, okay, probably closer to like a 7 or a 6. You did that much, all right? But I still really enjoyed this movie. Like, overall, this is not a bad movie. I've seen way worse movies than this. I've watched way worse, like, quote unquote romantic comedy. You ever seen Fever Pitch? That is Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. That's a bad fucking rom-com. This is solid gold compared to that shit.
The thing is, though, is that I thought this would be much better. It's above movies like 12 Angry Men, fucking Sophie's Choice, like all the other movies on this list that we've gone over. It's above these, and I'm like, the fuck is wrong with these people? How did they put this movie here? Like, what? It barely deserves to be on the list at all, only because of its fucking influence.
Well, I mean, the influence is huge on this fucking movie. It has huge influence. It has the accolades. It has, I mean, come on. Great. It's like, okay, it's like the 4th Billy Wilder movie on this list. All right? I mean, would I say this is the Billy Wilder that...
Fortunately, I've seen other Billy Wilder movie, so I know he's not a complete hack.
You've seen 2. You've seen Sunset Boulevard and Some Like It Hot.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Actually, 3. You also see Double Indemnity. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I was in film school then.
But at least I know the man has chops. He's got stuff going for him. It's just not this fucking movie.
Look. Out of all the Billy Wilders on the list, is this like the one I'd be most okay with seeing come off? Yeah, sure. I'll say that. Do I think it should be off the list currently? No.
No, because the influence. I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's too influential.
You know what? We're about at this stage. The AFI spot, right? Because on the 98 list, it was at number 93, and then on the 07 list, it's now at number 80. Right?
Oh, I should definitely go back down to 93.
You think this movie is like way too high than it deserves?
Way too high for what it deserves.
Okay. Is it better than Yankee Doodle Dandy?
No.
No?
Not for me, no.
Better than Bringing Out Baby?
Probably.
All right. And it's so better than Swing Time?
Now, am I putting this in between Swing Time and Bring Up Baby?
You're an absolute savage. You're an absolute savage. I put it in like the bottom, 2 or 3?
I put it in the bottom 2.
You can't honestly tell me this movie is worse than Swing Time.
I really like the dances in Swing Time, what can I say? They were really good.
You fucking asshole. Look, this in like the list currently, like I'd be okay. Okay, the bottom 10, sure, like that, whatever. I'll admit I probably like hyped it up too much. I only seen it one other time before this, and I really enjoyed the watch.
I had a couple of beers when you watched it last time.
Fuck you. I really enjoyed the first watch. Watching it again, I'm like, okay, now that the honeymoon phase is over and I'm watching the film on its own terms, okay, fine, good movie. Pretty damn good movie.
It's flawed.
Flawed. Inherently flawed. And I think, is it... I think it's better than, Yankee Doodle Dandy. I don't know how much better. I think it's okay in the bottom
Do you think
10.
it's better than Titanic? Because that's really the movie I would compare it to. Because for me, they both have like similar problems.
I would say I like this better than Titanic. I'd be pretty comfortable saying I liked it better than Titanic. Because like even if the characters are like really flawed characters bordering on unlikable, at least they make me feel something. Whereas Jack and Rose, I couldn't care less if they were good or bad. That's my thing. Like at least this movie like it's trying something, and it is trying something really well. Titanic, yeah, is a more impressive movie, but I think The Apartment's a better made film overall. Like I like this better than Titanic.
Okay.
I could easily see. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from.
Like you're already over there, like eyeballing that bottom 3 position, real
like,
clean.
For me, it's at least gonna go like if it's not gonna go in the bottom 3, maybe I'll lighten up to it a little later. But it's just like it's definitely gonna be like right under Titanic.
Really, you like Titanic more?
I like Titanic more because I like Titanic. I can enjoy everything that's like happening around the characters. While this is, it's too focused on the characters for me to like anything that's happening around them. They're basically the entire fucking frame,
I mean, yeah.
Like, and at least in Titanic, I can like watch like all the side characters were good in that movie.
Yeah.
The side characters in this movie, like I still don't like them.
Oh, lordy.
Except for the Doctor.
I mean, the Doctor was great.
And his wife.
They were great.
They were.
Shall we just agree to disagree and just say that you hate it and I like it?
I don't hate it. I loathe it.
Sweet baby Jesus. All right. Well, everybody. But yeah.
What do we got to look for next week?
Next week, I hope it's a movie you'll actually enjoy because it's a Western.
Ooh.
A Sam Peckinpah Western. Considered one of the most violent Westerns you can make.
Really?
It's called The Wild Bunch. The movie is actually was said to be like one of the most violent Westerns ever made when it was made in 1969. I don't know if that holds up to this day, though.
Oh, hell no.
Probably not. No.
Quentin Tarantino made a Western once upon a time.
Yeah, he made 2 of them.
You made
Well, yeah.
2? What's the other one?
Django Unchained and Hateful Eight.
That's a Western? Django? I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a spaghetti Western. It's about Django, who's a slave that is freed from his captors and goes on a revenge killing spree to kill all the white people in the South to free the slaves. And also his wife, Hilda.
That sounds like you're exaggerating.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit?
Not even a little bit. He is also freed and taught the ways of the gun by a traveling German dentist.
Okay.
Played by Christoph Waltz.
Okay.
It's great.
I've never seen the movie.
You should watch it.
Maybe I should watch it.
Spike Lee hates it.
Spike Lee hates that movie?
Of course he hates it.
Okay.
It's a Quentin Tarantino movie. He hates that guy.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot that they have like a beef.
They got beef. But yeah, so next week...
I don't think I've watched a Western in its entirety.
You're bullshitting me.
I don't think I've ever watched a Western from front to back. Like a legit Western.
That can't be true. You had to have seen at least one of the Clint Eastwood movies. Dad loved those fucking movies.
But the thing is that I wouldn't remember those.
I guess that's true.
Because I would have not been paying full attention to that movie. I'd be doing whatever I'm doing and the movie's playing in the background.
Okay.
The closest is the True Grit remake.
What about Quigley Down Under?
I've never seen the whole thing. Or at least I don't remember seeing the whole thing.
My word.
And this is like when we always talk about I don't remember seeing the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith or whatever.
You were sitting next to me in the theater.
But I don't recall the movie at all. Literally at all.
Well, this is going to be an interesting cherry to pop, all right? Because next week we're going to be watching The Wild Bunch. And, I'm going to be really excited for this one.
Have you seen it before?
I've never seen it before. I've never seen a Sam Peckinpah film before.
I was about to ask that.
No, and it's also supposed to be really, really good, really well acted. It's supposed to have this huge star-studded cast. And, I'm very excited to see it next week.
I think a Western might be a really good, palate cleanser for me after this, because it's a completely different movie.
Completely different line, completely different game.
Just 100, it could not get more different. Could it? A space Western, maybe?
We'll watch Star Trek after this.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. It should be. And, yeah.
All right. Well, if you wanted to listen to that, you can check us out on our YouTube channel, In the Frame. That's In the Frame on YouTube, where you can find this podcast and the Film Club podcast. And you can also Check us out on Spotify and Google Podcast and anywhere you get podcast. And Randy, any last words on The Apartment?
No, but you know what other movie I didn't like? That Joan of Arc movie you watched. I didn't like it.
Hey, it's because you're an uncultured swine.
What did you like about the movie?
Have a good week, everybody.
All right.